Oh, hey, right. So back testing today. I'm actually not live trading today because my results are too inconsistent. I'm not ready to be jumping in the market and wasting money. So I think that I've found and the piece that was important before that I've been neglecting. So these used to be my rules, right? And there's nothing crazy to them on first inspection. It's just like, okay, cool, AMD, yeah, okay, all this. But what I've realized is all of this stuff is the important stuff. It's just like, it's not like, oh yeah, okay, it needs an A, it needs an M, it needs a D. I've written this in the past because I know how important these specific steps are. Now, I'm going to get into this and we're going to try and find some AMD setups using everything because I keep going back and forth, being like, okay, what if it's this, and like, wow, maybe I need to look at it like this, or maybe I just need to focus on that. But what I need to do is just remember what the origins of this strategy was, and I think a lot of it comes down to, well, it's not just one thing, but the thing I've been missing at the moment is like the volume aspect. Um, and like volume in terms of like momentum as well. Like if we think about AMD in terms of behavior, right? Because drawing liquidity is drawing liquidity. We got a bias, we got a direction. There's no behavior going on there, really. But when we talk about AMD, you can't just have AMD without analyzing the behavior of that AMD. For example, the A lower volume than the M. The M gives the volume and it significantly goes past the A. It it it, it has a job to do, so it taps into it either an FVG or it sweeps liquidity. Um, I'll leave that one. And then the D needs to come back without hesitating. So re-enter with volume, close past. It must not delay too long or lose too much momentum before re-entering. AKA, it shouldn't hesitate. Um, and these are things that I feel like I've been missing out on to be able to make this um strategy work all the time. I think it's not just like see an AMD and be like, okay, there's an accumulation, there's the manipulation, and then you wait for this distribution. Like in this example, even though this did win, and it's not saying that things won't ever win when they do that, but it's like this is not a good example of what I look for because it's like, yeah, the A looks good. Like you could argue there's a high there that we're aiming for. The M came down with volume, tapped into, I don't know if there's a gap there, but looks like there is, yeah. But look at the lack of conviction to come back up. How am I gonna take that? How am I gonna take that knowing that AMD is about behavior, it's about like playing, it's about understanding like if it's true and if you're on the right side of the curve, which is the side of the big of the algorithm, it's not gonna hesitate. It's like, okay, bang, here's where we think we're going, and then psych, no, we're not. It's not gonna go up and then hesitate, maybe do a drop, maybe do come back up. It's not gonna do that. So it's just finding those things that make sense. So let's do it now. I'm gonna go off the idea that we're actually selling short, to be honest. Having said that, there is a high there that I think we could target, and there is a high there. So I'm just gonna draw out these ideas, and then I think we'll build it as we get closer down. So again, for example, here we have done our thing. To be honest, this to me when I think about it in terms of the proper rules that I want, this isn't an AMD either. Like, there's no conviction here, I guess. It's not too bad, to be fair, and I like that we swept it with bodies instead of just wicks. But anyway, yeah, let's just keep going and finding out what we can do. We're clearly going to take these equal highs here as well, so let's just go towards that. Okay, cool, we're turning around. So exactly what I just said. This didn't look like something too strong because we didn't fully sweep it, and now we've come back down into this area very strongly. The sad thing is I'm probably not going to be able to get in on this because it's probably going to go without us. No, I can. Alright, so let's just say that I'd be in on this because I didn't kind of skip this price action a bit too fast. So this would be a 1-to-1. I'm going to enter anyway now. Nine. So I mean, I don't have a. I've got 500,000 in the account, you know. I don't have a clear draw on liquidity. However, like other than the obvious target. However, we did just take this area. What was that area? What was the red line there again? I can't remember why there was a red line there. Oh, it was here, when it was this line here. The only thing I might have jumped the gun on is waiting for that 3 minute to close. But look at that, bang. And it's literally to do with, this is the exact setup. It's just low volume. Then we see the volume come out. Then it doesn't fucking hesitate to come back in. It's just like, this is that shit. Like, this is it. And we took a target. We took these equal highs. All the behavior makes sense. The pattern makes sense. Obviously, like I said, there wasn't a clear draw on liquidity. However, like I said, I feel like we're coming lower. I know we're going up at the moment, but I do feel like we could come lower. And then yeah, let's just reset. So we've made that one win. I think I just complicate shit too much sometimes, you know, or getting lost. It's like it's hard to remember the important the important reasons as to why something is doing it, what it's doing, instead of just being like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not gonna take this because yeah, I'm just not sure about it. It did look good again, like the volume looked good. The 1 minute coming up into that looked good. There was a tiny little 1 minute gap there, which kind of put me off it a little bit, but yeah, looks like we could come in higher than now. So maybe we are just gonna violate that high. Which I guess kind of makes sense. We didn't like fully sweep that. One sec. And then yeah, let's keep it moving. Whoa. So let me just quickly go into this little small one here. So let's analyze this again. There's no gap here, to be fair, so probably pointless analyzing, but I wouldn't have took this. Look, we came down, swept it. That should have been the move. Then it didn't. Then we came up. However, that candle looks great. Again, we got a little manipulative wick there. No, I don't like that. Anywho, what else we got? So I'm gonna change this to 15 seconds to tick along. And yeah, so Cool. We've got another potential setup. There's our manipulation. So let's read the rules. Can be very simple rules. A must be sideways and low volume. Not really. M must be the first sign of volume entering. Not really. Must not just be a wick. It is just a wick. And this is on the 15 seconds, so it's definitely just a wick. D coming back in. There's no clear. Yeah, this is a weak setup. Could go, but it's not. I'm not gonna be on this train. Looks like we're accumulating more than anything. And is it gonna go? Looks like it. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, look, it dies. Fails. So we actually didn't get entry there anyway. It didn't invert that gap. But there again, like I said, there was no. Where's the clear stuff here? There's no volume entering out of nowhere. There's no strong push past. There's just nothing. It shouldn't. Them kind of setups just. I wouldn't even waste my time considering them. So now we've got a 5-minute gap. We've tapped into a 5-minute gap, which is good. We've accumulated here. A nice little sign of volume, nice little push out of volumes come. We've got a 30-second gap up there. Let's see if we distribute past it strongly. No, we don't. No problem. This is more volume. I wouldn't mind taking this, no. That's not bad again. We just didn't delay, bang, but it didn't do a secondary job, that manipulation. Anyway, I'm guessing we're probably gonna make a 15-minute gap. Not a lover of this. And then now, because of the lack of behavior that we're looking for, by the way, now, like for example, this is just messing around down here. There's no clear M. There's no enter of volume. There's no anything. So here, we could start building a concept to go lower. For example, there's a 15-minute gap there that should get tapped into potentially. We're not behaving as we thought we was going to come back up into this accumulation, and now we're accumulating again. So if we went above it and then back into it, could we start looking for a short instead of a long? Let's have a look. There is a gap there. We do invert it. Behavior wise, let me analyze this. So we do get volume come out. We take a lot of highs. We take a lot of those highs by bodies as well, which is always good. We haven't done a secondary job. For example, tapping into a higher time frame gap. No, we haven't done a secondary job. And we haven't closed back inside of this very strongly. So I'm going to wait on this. Don't love it. And now we're just messing around. So I'm going to pass on that. It does win, but it's not for me. But again, now we can zoom out and be like, okay, cool. This is a setup. So if we tap that now. Now we've tapped into the 15-minute gap. We've done a job. We've accumulated before reaching that job. So if we don't fuck around and just come back up here, that could be a good trade. Let's see if we do. Okay, we are fucking around a bit. Alright, yeah, we're just fucking around. So now again, I'll take that idea off the table. We're clearly looking at something different here. Okay, accumulating here. What we got? We manipulated, looks dead. I'm not taking that. Must be mad. We just literally swiped it by the top, and we like. There's no way I'm taking that. Have we done a secondary job? We are tapped into a 3-minute gap. Again, this is just waiting though. This is just not showing me what I want to see. If we was coming back into this, why are we messing around here? So for that, with that idea in mind, I'm thinking we're going to start going up. Like I said, this is still not going to be a strong move. There's literally no gap for me to really take here. Unless we start looking at this a little bit different and then seeing that this is the accumulation area, then we dipped into that and then we pushed back up. So it's like here was the sign of volume here, and now we're coming back into this. It's not the strongest. It's not the strongest. However, I am going to kind of use the idea as drawing liquidity, because when these kind of things show themselves, even though they're not the strongest move, I feel like it still can serve a purpose, even though it's not confident enough to jump straight in on. Which I do actually think this is going to go, because it does look good. Like if you look at it like a bit from a wider lens, it's like, okay, the accumulation's just like slow. It's like, okay, we're slowly dropping, and then we get to here, and it's like, okay, bang, and then right back up, volume comes back in, and then we're good to go. But this is something I'd be looking at now. So we've got another accumulation here, and it's just not behaving how I'd want it to behave right now. Again, another part of these rules is the size. Like if the accumulation's small like that, why are we manipulating this big? Right, we do actually come back into it. That's the mad thing. So it's a 3-minute gap. This is gonna definitely go. Man, part of me would look for another internal thing here, just to play it safer, like that. So low volume, push out. The M. Only thing is I don't love where the M is on that, but I like that we tapped into not just that gap but that deeper gap. So I'm going to take this. I am fairly confident in it. Let's see if we win it. Yeah, it's an easy win, man. It's easy peasy. It's an obvious win. So again, like I said, I had that as an idea, didn't feel confident in it, so we used that as a draw on liquidity. Then this became an idea, didn't feel confident, so we used it as a draw on liquidity. And now everything's aligned for us to be able to just continue higher. Yeah, I see this should continue higher as well, to be fair. Let's have a look. Is this another move? Let's analyze this again. So bit of a wishy-washy look in my opinion. Hasn't really done a secondary act like this one did, where it tapped into a deeper gap. This looks like it could fail, but it could win, so I'm not going to take either side. Okay, so it failed, and that could be the go time. Now this is accumulated for a lot longer. Good volume down, good volume up. It does win, takes the high. Could argue again there was no secondary thing, but I think the secondary thing in this was like it already faked out some people. Also no wick, no fair value gap, so it wouldn't have been a trade I'd taken anyway. Um, we kind of. So I definitely still want to be looking long. Um, that's interesting. Ugly setup, very ugly. Shit, like thingy. Manipulation didn't do its job. Then we waited around. Like that's just not what I want to be involved in. And then yeah, we finally hit the target. Cool. On to the next day. Isn't it funny how the answers have been under my nose this whole time? So this same again. Like even though you could look at this and I don't know, you could create all the fucking ideas about this all you want, but this is just an accumulation. Like, there's nothing more to it than that, in my opinion. And at this point, we don't know which side it's going to break out of. It does look like it's more likely going to be that side, but we don't know it. But now the tables have turned, my friends. So, my opinion, again, accumulation. First entry volume does sweep it. It doesn't. It's not like rapid turnaround, but it also doesn't fuck around too much, in my opinion. Gotta wait for that. So let's see. This might just shoot off without us. Yeah, it does. Alright. But again, that's it. Easy stuff here. Look, came in, did its job. Like swept a bunch of old lows. Yeah. Carried on. However, again, I think if we push nicely up a little bit further up here, I'd take this back down. So I think it probably wants to go back down. So we've took that. We're now into this gap as well, so it's done a secondary job. So let's see. I think I'd take this 3 minute potentially. See if it gives anything. Messing around a bit, but on this time frame it's not like a crazy amount of candles to be messing around with. Let's see what else we've got here. Alright, looks like we might have a smaller move here. 1 minute accumulating. Dipped below. First on a volume. I don't love this. It's gonna go, but I don't love it. Okay. Alright, this now says we're not turning back around, in my opinion. So with that in mind, we could start targeting higher. And I just missed the move, look. See if we would have had an opportunity. Yeah, first sign of volume was there. Did a secondary job, we tapped into that. Could have got in there and went break even, played it safe. There was nothing on the 1 minute, 30 second I could have got in there. Yeah, not a bad trade. Looks like I've got another. Done a secondary job, we tapped into the 1 minute. Let's see. 15 seconds, there is a gap there. I can't trust it because it's just a wick. okay. I'm fine with that. Do like that though, to be fair, because it didn't just tap into that, it tapped into this deeper one. It tapped into that, and it tapped into that. So I do actually like that, but I think I've seen them be fake outs too many times to confidently take it. Well, I'll just keep missing these. That's dead. Wouldn't be involved in that. It looks like we're accumulating now. So again, it's just waiting and waiting to see where it is. That's not an accumulation. However, this would be something that, like, I would normally look to take higher. However, this is a much better accumulation here. We now push down, do a job. No gap to be able to take it higher, unfortunately, but it does go higher. Alright, so this is a lot more clear now. This should go. I mean, again, like I said, it's not a clear AMD, so I wouldn't be able to take it, but we could, I don't know, if we're lucky, get something out of it. Low volume, high volume, pushing out. Can we go straight back up? We do. I mean, we did mess around a little bit. What the hell? I like that we're in a 1 minute gap. I like that this looks promising and still hasn't fully achieved its target. Don't know why that 15 seconds not doing what I'm asking it to. I'm gonna take this just because we also tapped into that. It's not filling me with confidence just because of the shape of it, but I think it'll go. Also because of the drawn liquidity that we've got, it's pretty clear. I'd probably have took that as a TP. Nice, good stuff. So, yeah, moral of the story, don't underestimate the little Word document that you've got ready to go. Well, good stuff.